Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Gurnal RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today as we expectantly wait for being able to kill the King of Pitax. It'll happen. It'll happen, it's all fine. We have to rank up, and we will. We're ready for this. Tsana, let's do our thing. And also we're leaving the town today. Maybe. Probably, definitely. But, well, we'll see. Depends. But I do want to go and explore Pitax because there's things in there. The Wrath of the Seven Archers. The Seven Archers as farmers were greatly surprised by the general's visit. Staring into the faces of countless soldiers, they agreed to sell their goods for a fair price and admitted that they weren't so happy about the trade ban imposed by their rulers. Whose rulers were is it? Seven Archers had to cut our food supply off. Oh, right. They said admitted, but we can't really trust them because we had soldiers in front of them. So maybe they were just saying whatever they thought would keep them safe. Triumph in the rats everywhere. The warden's people found a swarm of were-rats. This is the one that had were-wolves, not werewolves, were-rats. What do we have? We have a rank up over here. However, people are busy right now. Oh, because we got relations from other things. Right. We also have training, and that would be for Tsana's skills as a counselor. It very well might be that she is a counselor. That does sound like a thing Tsana would be. She is a counselor. Look at that. That is incredible. She's the best. My god. I get the impression that there's a lot of min-maxing you can do with these things. I'm doing the min-max, you know, by assigning people who can be trained to the roles they can be trained at. But I'm doing the min-maxing in Saves Coming, because that's where things are at. So I can select both Rim and Octavia as the trainers, and Sana can do other things elsewhere. We definitely have a lot of things in here. What exactly are you doing over there? Divine protection from fear. Why? How? Just get on with it. Right now. And Octavia, it's 4 days. That sounds about right. We're going to get Octavia to do the training. In the economy, we have cultural development, fortifying the foundation of buildings, and then everything else doesn't matter quite as much. And then we have rank ups, which we were doing. Let's look at the events, because these are where it's at. Oh, yeah, we have 2 more people over here. What do we have? Balance. Not this one again. Yes, this one again. We have Cirrus, and we have Lindsay. Lindsay, 7 days, huh? That shouldn't be a problem. Cirrus is probably... Yeah, let's get Lindsay up in here. Let's see what we have over here. Undead Rising! Because an old priestess of Pharasma has died. Such is life. We have Amiri, who could do that. I suppose I can do that. Lindsay and the storyteller wait in the castle, both of them. Okay, well. And also the counselor waits in the castle, but that's for something we need already. And the warden needs my advice. That's requests. Let's go to the throne room and see what this is all about. And then the Queen Gilladel proudly said, "Your evil deeds end now." Or is it better as, "We have uncovered your vile plan." Lindsay's writing, or trying to write something on the go, but she interrupts herself and looks up. "Oh, Your Highness, we have unbelievably, terribly important news. We managed to discover, invent while here. He'll tell you," she points to the storyteller. The storyteller waits patiently with Lindsay until Lindsay finishes her ardent speech. "I will have to begin from afar, to let you see what I saw with my blind eyes. The stolen lands are like a cradle in an abandoned house, in which the wind swings the skeleton of a child. The plastic skeleton, I should say, because that's how skeletons work. You know, they can't be swung. They all fall to pieces on the floor. Anyway, now no few newborn kingdoms have died here, for after taking their first breath, I have collected their stories." Or just after taking their first breath. "I have collected their stories, these precious stars that have been lost in the dust, and I have begun to notice some commonalities. It is like a pattern that repeats across different embroideries, the handwriting of the same author across all their stories. One word here, another hint there, false visions, references to a mysterious patroness, lover, and mentor, tragic coincidences, strangely non-random. People and countries were brought to destruction along different roads, but behind them there always stood the same ominous shadow. And we know what that shadow is. Nerissa. The name sounds ominous even in the mouth of a restless bard. The evil nymph who sent monsters to our lands and did all that stuff to Trishan. And that's not even the most important thing. Most importantly, if you help us a bit, we can get her. If I help you a bit? That sounds weird for an NPC in a role-playing game to say. It's like she's embarking on the quest rather than me. Let's start from the beginning. How did you even come up with this? Well, it all started with the fact that I really wanted to listen to the storyteller's stories. I've been following him for a long time, and asked and told him about our adventures, and sometimes I just sat beside him and we chatted. Finally, after I told him about the defaced sisters and all the horrors of the abandoned castle, he noticed that the story seemed strangely similar to the ones he'd already heard before. What exactly are we going to do? The bards know how to send messages through dreams. I try not to use it. For some reason, people got mad when I appeared in their dreams to read my new poems. Well, the storyteller came up with a ritual based on that spell. We'll collect everything connected to Nerissa, everything starting with her every track in the abandoned castle. After gathering everything, we'll unite his abilities to tell stories with my ability to travel into dreams. So we'll be able to enter Nerissa's dream. Because that's how it works. So do we still have the amulet with the string of hair that she gave you before the battle with the Stag Lord? That'd be great. Tell us that'll let us finish all the preparations much faster and easier. I think I might have that, just not with me. What will we achieve by this? We'll learn all her evil secrets. The ritual will let us see her hidden thoughts and dreams. Well, theoretically, it's not like anyone's ever done this before. It can be dangerous. In dreams, monsters are more terrible than those we meet in the real world. But I urge you not to neglect this chance, Queen. You are opposed by a powerful enemy, one who has destroyed dozens of kingdoms and empires. If you do not meet her face to face, do not discover her weaknesses. Your kingdom will end up just another of my stories, he says. Fine, I'll order you to be provided with everything you need. Get the results. Come to me after we finish the preparations, and remember that I cannot send anyone except you and Lindsay into Nerissa's dream world. Whatever you have to face, you'll have to overcome together, by probably lowering the difficulty, because that sounds like a pain in the royal butt. Anyway, and the path will likely be difficult, with a 0.2 damage multiplier. Because I will do that ruthlessly. And Cirrus came in here and gave us a little bit of extra things. Your citizens gathered in a council today to plan some more new slums. They're naming one of their squares after you. I love how they roll over for you. Not every ruler enjoys such a mixture of fear and love. I don't really see the mixture of fear, at least. The loyal hounds of your guard arrested the last members of the merchants' conspiracy today. It's time to decide their fates. I would not recommend mercy. It's not as if they'll ever do anything with their lives. Besides, there's only one way to ensure that such a conspiracy never forms again. A harsh punishment for all involved. But then again, that sounds very lawful of me, doesn't it? To go with a harsh punishment. But then again, I also don't want Sana to go away. So let's see what we have over here. We have -5 economy. We have plus on everything. We have, we gain a bunch of things. -3 economy. That sounds like a lovely time. Oh, her suggestion is bad. Her suggestion is bad in terms of results. Let's see. Let them go. We've taught them a lesson. It is sufficient. Yeah, right. Free them from their chains and also free them of their wealth. That's the good stuff right there. And hopefully I'll be able to give it to the people. You'll receive for the good of the state and its people. That doesn't sound like giving it to the people, honestly. But as often happens in this game, we don't have a choice, so we're just gonna go with that. Just get their stuff. You might be doing the right thing, says Sana. Anyway, they'll be helpless without their wealth. Yes, that is how apparently the system works here, as well as in real life. Sana's face darkens. She seems nervous. Her rat has disappeared. Gone. which is worrying for a phrase like this to have a typo in it, because it's also a phrase that mentions her rat, which is so very rarely mentioned, and I think it might have never been mentioned, because I certainly don't remember it. It's right there, but I don't remember it. But it doesn't mean that it has never been mentioned, rarely mentioned, and the one time it's got a typo in it. Now that the destiny of the conspirators has been decided, please accept another visitor. He is the leader of the Druids of Gondolin. That's our place. But beware, he is not as simple as he seems. Does he seem simple? What do you mean simple? A sturdy old man with a shaggy beard begins to clear his throat. His penetrating eyes scan you, his face benign and respectful. Are we saying, like, simple? Like, what would be probably period accurate? Well, I don't know if it would be period accurate, but certainly in the first half of the 20th century, this word would probably just mean, you know, somebody with less than average cognitive abilities, for whatever reason, really, because, you know, it's just all lumped in the same simple word. But then again, it's also called as a spectrum, not as simple as it seems, which is... Anyway, he says, "Long live your highness. I'm here to speak on behalf of your vassals, those who survive by farming the land which my brothers and sisters have sworn to protect. We were their only defenders before you came. We didn't think of you as a friend at first, I admit, but we were wrong." Which is good, because I have tried to be a friend of the land. But anyway, "We have seen many things, but as a ruler who stands up for the ordinary people against the rich, that's something new. The petty merchants that robbed the people are like the bandits now. They're singing a different tune and engage in honest trade. For this, I thank you on behalf of the Druid Circle. Tell us what your people can do for you, and your words will be ours. The people heed their druids." Oh, interesting. I like it. I wish every option was like this. You know, a little bit more personal, none of the pluses and minuses. Now let's see what options we have. The merchants became wealthy because they know how to read and write, and they studied history and geography. I'm sure they know that, completely unrelated to how wealthy they were already, but let's just skip that bit. Let the people send their children to schools, temples, and sages. Yeah, let them eat cake. Basically, that sounds very much like that. Because it doesn't seem like I'm instituting any sort of public education system. Let's read the rest. Let the people send their children to schools, temples, and sages, so they may learn and grow wiser. This is such a naive... It's just a naive attitude to have in general towards any system. Certainly this one, for sure, a feudalistic... Well, this is not necessarily a feudalistic system. We've seen many incongruencies. Too many incongruencies for it actually to be just a straightforward, like, you know, pre-1400s Europe system. It does feel like a lot more than that. But then that's the thing. Once the modern age came, which is the age that started with the end of the medieval era here in Europe, once the modern age came, it became a little bit more common for people to just train as apprentices and be not necessarily masters, but they're, you know, not an apprentice anymore, I suppose. They work well here in Portugal. They were certainly called masters, but that word is sort of not it doesn't quite work, because a master is like somebody who teaches. But people who are good at it are also called masters. I think that still works to some people in some regions of the world today, but it's not as widespread. The usage of the word master is not as widespread as one might think, or at least as I might have thought in the past. But anyway, the point is, it is very common for people to just apprentice under family members more often than not, actually, now that I think about it, and just, you know, work to engage in an honest trade. The notion here of this line over here, the merchants became wealthy. That is definitely a thing that is new, or that didn't really happen in the medieval era. It's not, you know, it's not like a common social phenomenon that people become wealthy in medieval ages. They can become wealthy, but it is through not economic, well, not necessarily, you know, the same means that a person, for example, right now can become wealthy, like, you know, in just investing in the right stock or I just, you know, doing the right investments. The problems still apply, which is the fact that if you don't have money to do those investments, you don't get rich. Coming into an inheritance, that notwithstanding, obviously. But that's the thing. It's just super naive to look at it like this. It is important, though, to note that the public education system is a way to sort of even the odds, I suppose, as to people who don't have means and people who do, because it's just a way to, you know, create a little bit more equality and allow for people to have educations even though they might not necessarily have the money. It's not necessarily the be all and all, and certainly doesn't work as well as it should in many cases, but it is a first step, I suppose. But the line just doesn't say anything. It's just let the people send their children to schools. It just reads like that. Let them eat cake. And if you don't know what let them eat cake is, it's actually I don't think it is a real sentence that was said by Marie Antonietta from France in the 17th century, I want to say, where people were just, I don't know if it was a famine or something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think it is a real. I've read about it. It's not a real phrase, but it works for this. Or it's not. It wasn't really said by Marie Antonietta, but it works for this case. It's just let them eat cake. So I'm not gonna say that on principle. Also because I don't know what the consequence is, and I honestly don't trust the writers to give me a consequence that feels satisfying, because this just feels naive. Second option. I want the people to become the kingdom's ears. Okay. Keep an eye. Off to a bad start right there, mister, ma'am. Keep an eye on any suspicious foreigners. Never discount a strange rumor. Only united can we stand against our enemy's deception. So this is just fascism. I suppose, you know, united and the suspicious foreigners. That sounds a little bit like it. Tell everyone you meet that I am a just ruler. If our neighbors learn of my people's respect, my fame and power will grow. That sounds like all these options are rubbish. I'm gonna go with the third one, though. And the game is probably gonna think that it's lawful evil or something. It will be done, says the druid. Also, it's the one that more fits what he was saying. He's just, you know, tell other people what you're telling me right now. It's basically what that line boils down to. It will be done. All your neighbors will hear how your people... Oh, I forgot his voice. All your neighbors will hear how your people support you. That will make them respect you. Sana and the old man stare down one another as if discussing something silently. Hiccup. And then the counselor nods reluctantly. I'm glad to see you have come in good faith, old man. You have delivered the people's message, and we have heard you. Shania is here to give me a thing. Bye. Such a nice lady. Anyway. For a moment, I really thought it was a lawful evil, neutral evil option. It was not. It was chaotic good. Okay, well, chose Satan Kalian as one of the godly patrons of the kingdom. No, that is not what I did. What is that? Murdered a cheating bard at the Rushlight tournament. Did I do that? I probably did. Neutral evil, apparently. That is what that is. How is that not chaotic? I suppose neutral sort of works a little bit for the neutral, because it's neutral because it can be both things. If that makes any sense, that doesn't make any sense. That's one of the many limitations why the system like that is limited. It just doesn't work quite as well as you want it to. It works in tabletop though, because it's not quantifiable. It's not, it's up to the storytellers, and in a video game it's different. Some relics here, and I can give you all of them. But he doesn't actually want anything right now, and the reason why is because he needs me to go to manage my kingdom affairs, because that's how we actually evolve in his quest. For extra pluses over here, very nice. I do like good pluses. Why didn't I put you up for this? I mean, not that it matters, because I haven't progressed in the date, but it's fine. A way into Narissa's dream. I'm thinking Sana is gonna be the one training herself at this moment. Because we're going to need a realm elsewhere, so Octavia's going to do this eventually. In 4 days, basically. And then we have rank ups that we can and will eventually do. Training, strengthen Sana's skill as a counselor. Takes 20 days, costs a bunch of money. Go for it. Then over here, you can do that for free. Good. And then over here, I can't do anything. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. Because I can wait for a week, basically. Should I not? Yeah. I should support people right now. I should support people and then not waste Lindsay's turn. It should work. So I have rank ups over there. I think the X's are working properly. Improving cultural development, that does cost money, so I don't want it. Cirrus, fortifying the foundation. Yeah, those don't matter. And then the training, those don't matter either. Sana's skill as a high priestess doesn't work. Curses are done. And then this one I'm just waiting. Which is going to happen in a little bit. And so rank up is where we need to go. Let's save the game there. Let's see what we have over here. We got a rank of 7. That's pretty good. The game is chugging as it saves. Rank of 4. This is very common, actually, for the game to chug as it saves. Rank of 2. Let's go with this one over here. The Warden. Repair the sword. We did it. The support has been supported. The craftsmen have been stricken in the face. Is that the one that... Yeah, absolutely. Did I actually... I lost something over there. Does the game acknowledge anything? No, I don't know. Former friends. The Grand Diplomat's agents spoke in person to the kingdom's Brevan enemies, and the words they spoke were of wisdom. The arrogant patriots... I suppose the Brevan patriots... admitted that their judgment was hasty and wrong-headed. The young kingdom now has even more friends in Brevoy. So that's a good thing, I suppose. And reforging the sword. Amiri's sword was successfully reforged. That's a good time. Actually, that is really good because it now allows me to... go outside and have Amiri in my party, obviously. But also look at her sword and see if it is good, which it very likely will be. A way into Nerissa's Dream. That's going to take 30 days to resolve, which is fine. It's not a problem. We got curses training, still ongoing. We have economy. We have rank ups that we're not going to do. And then we have all the things. We're going. We're getting... No, how do we leave? How do we... It's over there. I'm very good at the game. I don't remember how the game works. Don't question me. Anyway, was I always this over encumbered? Anyway, let's look at Amiri. Amiri has a reforged ginormous sword, which is not that great actually. It's pretty bad. So that's... No, don't listen to Sunny. No, it's good. We're good. Sorry. And now to exit. Lindsay, go away. I need Octavia. She also leveled up, which is good news. Because I'm pretty sure she doesn't have as much experience as everybody else. Anyway. Where are we going? Do we have any companion quests? We do. Oh, wait. Bring the sword to the Six Bear tribe. Yeah, we're going to do that. We can just focus on it for right now. Meet Octavia's mother. Where does she want me to go? In Pitax, sure. No Man's Slave. Meet Ragongar's tribe. Well, I need to take Ragongar with me. And quote-unquote temple that we apparently have concerns about. Yeah, we're going to do the first two. And then, well, actually, it's not the first two. Yeah, it's the first two because we're still waiting for Lindsay's. And then we have these up here. Help the storyteller, prepare the ritual, interview citizens. We need to talk to the captain of the guard. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I even wrote it down. I still have it in front of me, so we're gonna do all that, just eventually. So, Six Bears Camp, right there. That's where we're going. These are not for the claiming. We have the tribe up there. It's all been claimed. I'm just trying to make sure that there's nothing in between here and there, because if there is, I might want to take a detour and not go in the direction that we're going right now. Oh, also I want to level Octavia up. Octavia, Arcane Trickster. She's now finally level 10 at that, which means she gets a surprise spells. A 10th level, an Arcane Trickster can add her sneak attack damage to any spell that deals damage. Which is pretty good, actually. That is basically the reason to have Arcane Trickster. That's pretty awesome. She's gonna suddenly become amazing. Not that she wasn't pretty amazing already, but still. Anyway, a little bit of stealth, and that doesn't have anything to do with sneak attacks, though. Spell specialization. What's that? Increases the power level. You cast a spell with greater than normal power level. Well, control fireballs then. Probably already have that specialized. Nope. Control fireball. Yep. I want those a lot. We have Dragonkind 2. What is that? The spell functions as Dragonkind. Actually as 1. Except that it also allows you to assume the form of a large dragon-like creature. Which is just jolly. I'll go with that. Elemental Body. Sounds good to me as well. All allies get Flaming Rune. This does not cause damage in such light as if it were a torch. While the firebrand burns, any creature it marks is immune to damage from any fire spell you cast. At the target's all the target's weapons, both naturally inflict a +1. Both natural and manufactured. What is a natural weapon? Probably fists? That's a weird way of phrasing it. Inflict +1d6 points of damage on a hit, and this bonus stacks with any amount of fire damage a creature's weapon might already inflict. So that's pretty good. And just lovely. It's just like a fun thing to do. Polymorph Greater, Legendary Proportions. That is, I mean, why wouldn't you want to have those? You call upon the primordial power of ancient megafauna to boost the size of your target. Oh, I want that. I want that. It's just because it's funny. I mean, I'm sure it is going to be funny, right? We need to have that. We just need to have that. We'll use it the first... Well, actually, let's make sure that we use it the first chance we get, because we're probably going to need to sleep before too long. Oh, wait, we can just use these? Sure, by all means. Yeah, grow everybody in size for days. Waves of Exhaustion. I probably need to learn more spells that I have. Chain Lightning. That's a terrible thing, honestly. Cat's Grace Mass. I have that already. Disintegrate. Stone to Flesh. Well, that's the spell that I needed. Let's keep it over there, just in case we get transformed into stone. Acidic Spray. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure I already had that slot before. I'm very good at noticing and leveling people up properly. Perfect. Okay, moving on then. Definitely not gonna backfire in any way, shape, or form. She's really weak. 49 health. Unbelievable. And yes, we're running exhausted right now. Or no, actually not exhausted, just fatigued. Hopefully he doesn't say exhausted when exhaustion hits. Hopefully he says exhaustion. Because, you know, I like internal consistency. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like that? Anyway. We have a sword. We have an amory. And we have the 6 Bears tribe. Or should. That doesn't inspire confidence. Amory, you little thief. Mortal fool, interfering in the affairs of eternal beings. It is time to return what was stolen. Shove it! Amory throws the sword at the ghostly giant, who catches it and gazes upon it, twirling it in his huge palms. Fine work. You surprise me, mortals. Your life is but a breath in the wind, a snowflake in the hurricane, but nevertheless you can at times create something that will last through the ages. The sword is even finer than the one that was stolen. And what point is there in that? Asks Amory. Harim. This sword may exist 1,000 years, or 10,000, or even 1,000,000, but even then it will not survive the end of times. Who are you? I say, completely ignoring what Harim just said. My name is Fionn. Once my brother Kian and I were powerful rulers of the first world. Together we were nearly equal to the eldest, but not quite. Eternal, serene life in our land was not enough for Keen. He wanted more. He wanted to become equal to the eldest and conquer new lands. First, he began to devour our subjects, drawing on their strength, and then he tried to do the same with me. As punishment, I banished this soul into the sword, which later fell into the hands of Amory. Relatives, says Jethal, where she probably should have said family. It's the same story everywhere. Whether in the world of mortals or of demigods, relatives are the first to become mortal enemies. And again, I'm going to ignore that. Why do you need this sword? It is the prison of my beloved, hated brother Keen, the murderer of family and friends, a ruler who dreamed of greater power, but who instead destroyed the people he ruled. You nearly released Keen by breaking the sword, and he may yet free himself if the sword is not sealed. But do not be afraid, mortals. We have here everything for the ritual that will seal my brother in the sword forever. How did this sword end up in Amory's hands? My brother was very powerful. When I imprisoned him in this sword, for his crimes, I created a very dangerous artifact. With sweet lies, the sword persuaded my servant to plunge it into my body. It drained much of my energy, turning me into this pitiful creature you see before you. A ghost, a shadow of my former greatness. My brother, in turn, used this power to escape into your world. But in this, he outwitted even himself. Our strength is linked to the magic of the first world. We are far less powerful here than we are on our own home, or our home plane. Once here, the sword lost its strength, even its ability to speak. It did not bring happiness to the giant who found it. It did not bring happiness to Amory, who looted the giant's corpse. Having broken the sword, you nearly freed my brother, but now we shall seal it forever. Why did you haunt the Six Bears tribe? After I was struck down, a treacherous spirit fled with the sword into your world. Powerless, a shadow of myself, I followed it, for I could not allow its prisoner to free himself. I found the body of a giant who once possessed the sword. I found the bodies of barbarians killed by Amory. I walked invisibly among the tribes, listening to their speech and tracing their thoughts until I learned the sword's fate. I demanded that the Six Bears tribe find the thief. This was only fair, for the sword was stolen by one of their own, and I would have it returned. If only Amory listened to me at our first meeting, much trouble could have been avoided. But even immortals cannot rule fate. Everything happened as it happened, and now the sword is in my hands. What will you do now that you have the sword back? I will not avenge your theft. I never desired revenge. I only wanted to ensure my brother imprisoned in this blade would never break free. I once thought returning him to the first world would be sufficient, but now I realize that would not be enough. There is only one way to be sure. I will cast the spell of imprisonment once again, this time on myself. I will place into the sword all my strength, which my poor brother so craved, and thus I shall share eternity with him. This sword will become our common tomb. After that, Amory, you may keep the sword for yourself, but not before the ritual is over. What happens if you don't seal the sword? My brother will free himself. He is an endless storm. Greedy, cruel, unpredictable. He will do great evil, and he will start with Amory and her tribe. He remembers you well, but I cannot see his mind. Perhaps he will seek revenge. Perhaps you will become his plaything. Either way, you will not survive. Would not survive. Yep, begin the ritual then. The giant brings the sword to his lips, whispering a spell. A stream of light flows from him into the blade. Already transparent, the ghost becomes barely visible. The end is near. There is almost nothing left of me. I am the shadow of a shadow. I am dust and ash. My power, my immortality. I give everything to imprison my brother forever. There is only one thing left. The giant hands the sword to Amory. To finish the ritual, the sword must be plunged into the heart of a chieftain. I would give my own heart, but I no longer possess a living body. And that's where I kept my heart. Anyway, however, there is another chieftain here. Do this, Amory, and let eternity come to an end. Nilak comes forward. Fionn spoke truly of the threat of this brother's release. I must protect my tribe. Do it, Amory. I'm ready. Amory falls back, turning pale. No! I won't do it! She turns to you. Surprising nobody, mind you, that she says that. What is this? What should I do now? Because if she said she would, then the option would be a lot less relevant, really. Sacrifice Nilak. I'm also a chieftain. You called me your chief. Sacrifice me. That'll be an interesting one. Let's see. I was once called, Amory says thoughtfully, and then turns to her fellow tribesmen. Hey, man! Before my exile, when I kicked your butts, you gave me a nickname, remember? Come on, say it out loud. I won't beat you for it this time. The men glance at each other. One of them hesitantly says, The Soft Chieftain? Ha! Your words, not mine. Hey, you, Ghostface! You got your chief? With these words, Amory places the hilt of the sword on the ground before her and throws herself onto the blade. Well, such nobility is rare among mortals. It should not be wasted. I still have enough strength for one spell. I hope she can be resurrected, because it makes sense that she could. Also that. The ritual is over. Brother, I'm coming. Amory rises to her feet. She touches her smooth skin through the hole in her bloody clothes, then grips the hilt of her sword. Huh? Still alive, ain't I? She turns to her former tribesman. I paid all my debts. Live and obey Nilak. The barbarian approaches you, a triumphant grin spreading slowly across her face. Well, Chief, we won. Where to next? To the first world? Or right into the abyss? Together we can smash anyone and anywhere, she says, with no health, which makes sense, actually. Well, let's find out if that is a good weapon. I hope it is. It's a +4. It's also Furious. I don't know what Furious is, but it is. That's a good thing. Endless War is the one that we have, which is a +5. I think it's the same in terms of attack. Oh no. I specialized her too well on that. Yeah. Or, I don't know, actually. How exactly does she get a +2 on this, in comparison? It goes from 23 to 25. And she specialized in bastard swords. That's a large bastard sword. It's a bastard sword, come on. I don't know if the game actually detects that. I have no idea. Which, actually, that's probably easy. Amory's Triumph -2. That's probably where it comes from. Base bonus attack of 14. Morale. Land defenders. Weapon focus. Yeah, she doesn't have weapon focus on that. She does have on this one, but that's a +4. She's pretty good though. I don't really miss more damage coming from her. I mean, this is not as good as this one. This 2d6 +13, just in general, because it's also a 2d6 rather than a 1d10. But yeah, that worked out. That was Amory's storyline complete. That's an interesting. Should we talk to Nilak though? Probably should. It was a weird thing though. I think I ruined her decision by not telling her to kill Nilak. Cuz she didn't even go, I shouldn't kill you. I'm going to kill myself. Anyway, Amory, that was my duty. Enough complaining. Your duty is to take care of these dumbheads. Without you, they won't survive in the south, and you can't go north anymore. I had a blood debt with this tribe. I would not want the daughter of someone I killed to come take their revenge on me. You've paid your debt in full. The whole tribe owes you their lives. Nilak, you did not hesitate to sacrifice yourself to save the tribe. This is an act of true leader. Thank you. It's an honor for me to hear your praise. What are you going to do next? Let's go back to Numeria. We're not used to change. Even there, everything seems strange to us, but Numerian Khalids are not so different from the northern ones. We would not survive here in the River Kingdoms, even with your protection. Well, a time of great change has come to your tribe. Everything changes. It's foolish to believe we can hide from the whole world in our icy mountains. We pay dearly for pretending that time doesn't touch us. I'm afraid the other tribes will pay even more. Farewell. Desna bless you. Look after Amory. I try a little bit. Anyway, we're out of time for the day. So, yeah, for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pathfinder Kingmaker. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.
Magrition Turin.